There are a lot of serious men who are looking to build something special, be their own boss, do their own thing, leave a legacy, or become a king in their own right, in their own family. And it's not easy because they look out in the world and they hear all the hoopla, all the limitations, and all the negativity, and they're thinking, not me. I'm not letting someone else dictate my future. I just need a better plan or a better strategy. So they go back to the lab. And in the darkness of night, while everyone else is sleeping, they're planning, they're analyzing, and they're looking at everything because they know it's all on them. They don't want to fail. And for those of you who have done this, it's true. They're just trying to adjust fire, prevent failure, and make the rest of their life the best of their life. They're studying new frameworks. They're refining their tactics, and they're looking for the next mission or the next aha because they have a burning desire to make their vision a reality. So they're working. They're creating plans and taking advantage of new opportunities, and they're saying yes to a whole lot of things that seem right. And despite all of that, they're not where they want to be. Their results aren't where they want them to be. Their execution is hit or miss, and they're not going to tell you this. And if you're not one of these men, you're not going to get it. But I get it. I've lived it. I've coached it. I've written about it, and I teach it. But they're not telling you. They can't talk to you because you're not helpful. You can't relate. But they'll tell me one-on-one. They'll come to me and they'll say, Ernie or Mr. Davis, I need help. I'm scattered. I want to run something by you. My ideas are all over the place. And listen, I get it. Sometimes it feels like things just keep shifting. And often in the beginning, it has nothing or very little to do with your strategy. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's not their strategy. It's their clarity. Their clarity is off. They're unclear. And because of that, everything that they're trying to do, their plans and their strategies, they're not coming to fruition. Not the way they want them to. I see it every day. So here's what I'm going to do. Give me a few seconds, and I'm going to share with you why most of their leadership problems as men, as leaders, and as builders has very little to do with their strategy in the beginning and a whole lot to do with their clarity, because it's a clarity problem, not a strategy problem. Now, the common misdiagnosis is always strategy because most people who are teaching and coaching in this area, they don't go deep enough to see the root of the problem. Some are so inexperienced that they don't even know what they're looking at. They regurgitate what they've heard others say. They're telling you about leaders and men who have been building for years and decades, guys who are way past where most men are today. So they're giving great advice at the wrong time. It's not in alignment with where most men are right now. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the men we're talking about. The timing is just not right for the advice. It's too early in the process. You see, it's kind of like profits and money. You can talk about profits and money, but you can't take profits before you make money. You can think about it all day. You can think about profits and money all day. You can take actions and set up accounts, talk to lawyers and draw out paperwork, and you can spend weeks and months doing all of that. But it's fruitless. If you don't make no money, there won't be no money. And everything that you will have done would have been in vain. It would be useless. Now, that's clarity. That's why we start with clarity, not strategy. You have to ask, what am I actually building and why? And why does it matter so much to me in the world or for whoever I serve? Because without those answers, you're just guessing. You're, what is it saying? Throwing darts and hoping something sticks. You're operating on guesswork because you haven't done a thorough analysis of the substructure below your foundation. That's why you can have a well thought out plan that doesn't produce the results you want and desire because your substructure is off. It's incomplete. You're trying to build something and you're not totally clear about why it matters or why it matters so much to you and the world or whoever you serve. You have what I call almost clarity. Because no one has told you that clarity is not a general idea or a general direction. Clarity is a precise understanding of exactly what you're doing and why it matters so intensely and so deeply that you're willing to keep going. You're willing to walk through the fire, and you're willing to do that when the going gets tough, when the days get long, and when your nights are never ending. And when you still can't pay yourself at the end of the week or at the end of the month. You see, most people don't persist. Not through that. They give up. They give in because they don't have clarity. Clarity is what transmutes your want into a burning desire. When your clarity is strong, your decisions to persist are strong. It's easier to keep going because clarity brings focus and direction. With focus and direction, you don't have to keep searching. Because once you're clear, it becomes easy to see what aligns and what doesn't align. So you're not constantly filtering, and that changes how you operate. It allows you to stop reacting and stop getting caught up in all the nonsense that doesn't involve you. And it allows you to start building and executing the way you're supposed to when you have a vision, a dream, and a higher aspiration. You start moving based on what you've already decided and stated as true, but only if you have clarity. Because if you don't have clarity, nothing you do will work to your full satisfaction. Your strategy will be unstable and your direction will keep changing. And as long as that's happening, you're going to keep second guessing yourself and everything else. You're going to keep allowing other opportunities to pull you further and further off track until someone comes along and says, hey, your execution is off. Your actions are inconsistent with what you're saying, and you're drifting. And here's the problem. That could take a while because most folks aren't going to tell you that. And most coaches can't tell you because from their perspective, it usually looks like a strategy problem. But I'll tell you, from experience. And I'm correct because you heard me. It's uncertainty. And uncertainty creates hesitation. That hesitation slows your execution. It sends you off course. It breaks your momentum and it causes you to drift. So you being the winner that you are, you don't want to drift. You don't want to look like a loser. So what do? You keep adjusting your strategy. You keep changing course and you keep doing things to make it look like you're winning. You're trying to compensate. When in reality, the issue is clarity. It's almost like you set out on a journey to do something great without establishing clarity first. Clarity establishes direction and produces momentum. That's why I tell guys every day, you're a builder, you're a leader, and you're an architect. You've been called to do something of greatness, and it starts with you and your answers to the questions. Who am I? What do I want and why? And that's why we don't begin with strategy. We begin with clarity. Clarity determines the direction we move. Clarity determines and influences the strategy we employ, and clarity influences our execution. So if your clarity is off, everything that you're doing and pursuing will be off. Now, this is different, but when your clarity is on, your strategy is on. It becomes simpler and easier to execute. Your execution becomes more focused and consistent and easier to maintain. That's the difference. That's why we start with clarity, not vice versa. So before you go off and try to improve your strategy, get some new education or something, strengthen your clarity. Talk about your true objectives, not what sounds good, not what looks impressive on paper. Start with what are you actually building and why? Why does it matter so much to you? And then eliminate all the distractions because clarity requires us to say no to a whole lot of things that don't align and not everything aligns. You have to establish a filter. You have to think, what qualifies as a yes on my filter and what qualifies automatically as a no? And then you must align your actions. Think about your calendar. Your calendar must reflect your clarity. If it doesn't, you have a problem that will lead to what we call an identity execution misalignment, and you will drift. you will go off course. You see, most men are trying to optimize their strategy, but the real leverage point is clarity. Because when your clarity is strong, your decision making is strong. It's faster, your execution is more focused, and your strategy is more effective. Listen, you don't need more strategy or more complexity. Not right now. Not at this point in your journey. You need more precision and more clarity. That's a shift. Now, if you just learned something, or if this has helped you to see something more clearly, that's the point. That's why we do it. And that's why I do what I do, because success doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't come from working harder, working alone, or by trying to navigate 100 new ideas all at the same time. It comes and it begins when the problems you're battling become more visible. And that's why you need clarity. If you're ready to strengthen your clarity, define your direction, and build structured execution, press like, subscribe, and follow. And if you're hungry, visit me at www.powerhousemotivations.com. I have an awesome coaching program and a mastermind group that will change your life forever. I'm out.